Hey.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey. I love it.
How are you, my friend? We should do
I'm
our
so
intro.
good.
We
We
always say hi
should.
first before we do our intro. We should do our intro. Go for it.
Okay, I am Shannon Mitchell, a Black millennial business owner. I am the owner and founder of ShealoGlo LLC, a handmade organic cosmetic company, and I am a champion for your self-care, business care, and intentional wellness.
Love it. Hi,
Thank you
y'all.
so
I'm
much.
Christine Gautreaux, a white social justice advocate, an international speaker, coach, and published author who helps you upgrade your self and community care.
Yes, and together we are Women Connected in Wisdom, a weekly intentional conversation about being wise in business, relationships, and wellness. We are grounded in the 8 dimensions of wellness, and today we will be talking about occupational wellness.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It is a good day, Shannon Mitchell.
Yes,
It is good.
it is.
Today is January 20th, 2021. We have the 46th President of the United States, President Joe Biden, and even more exciting for me, we
Yes.
have Madam Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yes.
All right,
So
our
excited.
guest. Talk for a second because our guest is texting me that she's having a little trouble getting in. So I'm gonna text her as you tell me about how you are today. What you been up to this week?
Yes, so I have been running around the city. It's been interesting. We're talking about occupational wellness. As you know, Christine, I was definitely affected by coronavirus, right? Hospitality industry was hugely affected. And it's so interesting because we talk about the nurses and the doctors, and of course, kudos to them on the front lines. And there's other people that are still out there too, right? All the retail workers, all of the food industry out. It's crazy how many people are still working. So I've been doing DoorDash, and this weekend was our first market for ShealoGlo. So if you met me at the market, hey guys, thank you so much. Had such a good time meeting you. And it's just been interesting how honestly occupational wellness looks different now than it did just 12 months ago. So
Right?
that's what I've been thinking about today.
For millions of Americans,
Mm,
right? For
yes.
millions of Americans. So thank you for talking about it. Okay, Chartisia says she's here. I see her, but I
Okay.
don't. Oh, she's on Facebook. I just resent you, Chartisia, the invite to the StreamYard, so you get to come in the special green room.
Ooh.
So let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to just ground and get
Okay.
present, and take a deep breath together. Yay! Chartisia has entered the green room. We see you, my friend. We'll bring you on in just a little bit. So we're going to take a deep breath. Let it out with a big old sigh and a shake. Whether it's nerves or excitement from the day, knowing that we can just take a deep breath and let some of that go and calm our nervous systems. I was on a webinar this week with Resma Minikim, who's the author of My Grandmother's Hands. And he was talking about racialized trauma in bodies and how, when our bodies get activated, and that it also lives in white people. It doesn't just live in people of color. It's different degrees, of course, but, it's
Right.
ancestral and passed down. And
Mm,
that there are he was talking my language. He doesn't realize he's an inner player, but he's totally an inner player about body wisdom and really
mm,
checking in with yourself, and that place where when you're going to talk about hard subjects or memories are coming up or things, and you feel that little quake in your body, like to just remember to take a deep breath and maybe even put a hand to your heart or rock a little bit or hum a little bit. And I know that's more towards our last conversation, physical wellness, but it really came up strong for me after being in his webinar this week. And I wanted to share that.
I
So
love that. Thank you.
yeah.
No, and it's important, as a kitchen manager, when I'm running around and somebody will come up, you need to get this table together. And this guest is telling me how to run the restaurant, right? You got to remove yourself sometimes and go calm down. So I appreciate it. And it's definitely related.
Right? Well, tell us when we talk about occupational wellness, Shannon,
Yes.
what's the official definition?
So officially, right, not my definition, and I'm working on it, but officially the definition is the feeling of purpose and productivity in one's chosen profession. This pillar is certainly a key element to what we refer to as work-life balance, as an enriched and productive professional life is certainly required to mesh with a healthy personal life.
Mm,
Yes.
I love that.
So much to talk about, right?
Right? I just when you read that definition, that feeling of purpose and productivity in one's chosen profession, it just
Mm-hmm.
makes me grateful for the work I do in the
Yes. Yes.
like I feel lucky that I get to do what I love. So yeah. Ah. What do you think about it when you think about occupational wellness for yourself?
So it's funny because ever since I wrote the post for our Instagram, our Women Connected in Wisdom Instagram, it's stress, right? That's what I'm used to thinking about. But honestly, that hasn't been the reality of my work environment for the past year. I've been building my business and figuring out what that means. What do I need, and then how do I do that? And it hasn't been stressful. That's just the story that I'm used to and that I'm rewriting right now. So this is one of the areas of wellness that I'm working on, how to make sure that I stay not balanced, but healthy with the time that I give to certain things. That's what it looks like for me right now, making sure that I'm focused on the time when I'm focusing on my business and when I'm driving or when I'm resting, and that I'm not doing too much of the wrong one at the wrong time, you know?
Well, something that I know about you that our listeners may not know is how awesome you are with a planner and that you
Yes,
schedule that. You
I
schedule
do.
that, right? Which I think
Yes.
is brilliant.
Thank you.
Yes. I had one of my teachers tell me one time that balance is an elusive thing. It's something we're always striving for, but that's the process is the striving for
Hmm.
the balance, not reaching balance. Cause you
Hmm.
think about being on a teeter totter from like when we were, or seesaw when we were kids.
Yes.
And
Yes.
every once in a while you can get it just perfect, but it doesn't stay
But
that
not
way
for
long.
long. No, it doesn't. No, that's not the point of it. You're right.
Right? Years ago,
Hmm.
I was at a retreat and I was leading a women's retreat and we went on a hike and
Mm.
I jumped up on this stump and I did this yoga pose. I think it was called like swan or something. And
Mm.
somebody snapped a picture like right at the moment where I looked like I was perfectly balanced. Now I can guarantee you that lasted 1 second, maybe 2 seconds. But I used that picture for years. It was just a capture in the moment, right? Where I looked perfectly balanced. And I was like, yeah, which is hard to do as women and hard to do when we are running households and we are, taking care of folks in our lives and we're caregivers and we're professionals and we're owning businesses and all the hundreds of things we do, which our guest coming
Yes.
up. I am so excited to introduce our guest. I want to go ahead and bring her on if you're ready. Are you ready?
Come on, bring her in the room.
All right.
Yes.
So, y'all, Chartisia Griffin is an Atlanta native. I met Chartisia. She serves on the board of Reforming Arts, a local nonprofit that we'll talk about when we get her on in here. She spent 15 years incarcerated in Georgia. She was released in July of 2015. She has an incredible story. She is an entrepreneur, an accomplished Toastmaster, an author of seven books. That makes my one just feel so measly. I got to get some pep in my step.
We
And a
got to work on it.
organizer with several different Georgia organizations. She now lives in Snellville, Georgia, with her husband and her children. And her quote that she shared with us, which I love, is today is the day to give your everything. Tomorrow may be too late. So I want to welcome into the studio Chartisia Griffin. Here she comes. Hello, friend. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been excited all day for this. Thinking about it and like really scratching the surface of what we're doing here, what you guys are doing on this podcast. Just put a thing in me like, yes, yes, this is so needed, and you guys are appreciated for it. Thank you so much for having me.
I've been wanting to get you on here since we started this thing, which we're going to do. You're our second guest, and this is our third show. But what you so inspire me with your work with Women Engaged. And, I know you through a nonprofit board, and of course that I adore. But you have been working your tail off since the general election. And I want you to tell folks about Women Engaged and what you've been up to, and give us all, just tell us everything.
Well, I worked with Women Engaged a few years ago on another campaign. I've been doing that work from 2015 to date. Like it never stops. Like if you have an organizer spirit and heart, your everyday conversation is on that type of thing. But they needed a team lead, and they called me, and because they knew me, and we were working through the general as well as the Senate runoff. Women Engaged is a nonpartisan organization, so that means that we don't endorse any candidate, we don't talk politics or anything like that. We are simply here for information, resources, making sure that people understand the voting process and things like curing ballots. Like it's a lot of things that people don't know. Our goal is get them the information, whatever it is they need, get them to the polls. But inside of that particular campaign, we were, blessed to be able to offer other things as far as resources and connecting people with different places for housing or food, or helping get their rent paid or utilities. Like we were grinding. The team was amazing, and it was great to work with them. I think my team was about 15 people maximum. Some here because there was a lot of college students, which I love. They're gonna be on fire. Y'all gonna see some of those people running. I guarantee you that was amazing. They're gonna be running for office. They're amazing, and just the energy that was in there and the goal inside of the organization, because COVID happened and just killed 2020. Normally we're doing these things door to door. We're in the streets. You see us downtown Atlanta at 5 Points. We're the ones that's trying to go, hey, we need to get you registered to vote. That everybody walk by and ignore. But we don't stop. Even in that is love. We don't grab the rejection because you make friends. They see you more than once, catching the same buses, going back and forth to work. One day they're gonna stop and talk. And if you stop and talk to me for longer than 10 seconds, you're gonna do what I need you to do. That's just how I am. So
y'all stop and talk to Chartisia. If you see her on the streets, you stop and talk to her. She's got good wisdom to give you.
And so the goal was, we have COVID, we need to be able to keep the team members safe. How do we do that? And Malika, who is the executive director, man, she's the bomb. I hope you guys are able to meet her one day or maybe feature her with what she's done with that organization in a small amount of time. But they were able to work it out where we were able to do this work remote with a lot of different tools and things that we use to reach the voters. And astounding numbers. We killed it. Our goals, we surpassed them, because at a point it wasn't really just about the goals anymore. We need to be able to reach these people and have these conversations, get them this information. We need you to get up no matter what. If you can't get up, you need to request that absentee ballot. Here's a link to help you out, and sending them to the right place. Even out of that education, if they never ever talk to us again and hang up on us, we know that we gave them the tools to do it on their own. And the hope and the goal is that we gave it to you good enough that you're gonna tell your brother, your sister, your cousin, and one of them is gonna grab a hold of it and tell their brother or sister or cousin, and that's just how mobilizing works. But I'm proud of that. We did a great job.
Well, other people are proud of you too. Look at Aunt Vivian.
I love that. Hey, Aunt Vivian, with the shout out.
Love it. You know, Chartisia, right before we got on, I know that Women Engaged is a nonprofit a nonpartisan organization, and
Yeah.
y'all did amazing work. But right before we got on, they just swore in the 2 new senators
They
from the
absolutely
state of Georgia. Like,
they absolutely did.
I'm so excited to be talking to you right at this time, because what a day of history and herstory, right? I don't know if y'all noticed, but Kamala Harris was sworn in at 11:11 today.
She was. I noticed.
Did you know? Right. You got some fans that are listening right now, Chartisia. So I'm just popping them.
Oh, thank you.
I'm popping them in here as we talk. So, you know, we talk about wisdom and we talk about wellness on this show. Now, you not only work with your community activism and organization, you own your own cleaning service, right?
Yes, I do. Boy, that's a story in itself. Like you said in the beginning, 5 years ago, I was how did they call us? Property of the state property, whatever that word, that foolishness they say, and I mean literally 5 years ago. It hasn't been that long, and I just thank God, that that's a very, very traumatizing and dehumanizing experience. You got to be strong. And outside of strong, you got to have some type of support. If you guys, anybody that's listening in, if you have a loved one in that situation, a letter every now and then, you have no idea what it'll do, and I just was built different. And I realized that after a while, oh my goodness, they are so silly. I realized that I'm purpose for something. So I literally never made my bed there. I mean, literally, guys, even there, I would like have people signing petitions for certain things that we ain't got to get into. When there was something wrong that should have been being done, that's just on a human level. Come on, y'all got to get it together, because I'm going to get them together and we're going to get it where it needs to go to make you get it together. So get it together. But coming from that, I knew 100% with my children. It's 15 years is a long time. They were 1 and 3 when I left. When I came back, they were 16 and 18. And I gave my word that your manner of life will change. What do I have to do? And I just stayed focused. And goal setting was a big deal. I knew that I was not going to be able to live the way I needed to live and provide the way I need to provide, punching the clock. How do I grind this and make it do what it do? And things just kind of fell in place. And I'm a firm believer that the universe did that for me, because my intent was right, my heart was right, and I had goals, and I don't care what happened. I stayed on that path. And how many can say in 5 years, I own a business. I work right here at this computer and I have employees. I'm a homeowner. I just bought a house, you know what I'm saying? A nice one. I can brag because for that. My husband that I married, those are our kids. So think about that. Even in all of that time, we met in middle school. We've been together all of that time and make it home and marry. So now our kids can take some of those hashtags and tags. We got 2 parents in the house, and I might make it look easy, but it is not. I threaten them. They're quiet now because I've threatened them that I don't want to hear anything while I'm on this interview. But I can hear them. They're tuned in somewhere in the house, and I do that. And my goal, even in just the business, I know I want to be able to create jobs. We gotta be able to reach back and grab and help, And sometimes it's just all in the way you handle people, especially with formerly incarcerated people. My God, it's a struggle. So somebody got to take a chance. I'll be the one to take a chance, And it wasn't anything special that I did. I didn't do anything that anybody else couldn't do. But I do believe I had favor in my intentions and where my heart was, and the universe said, "Okay, come on, let me hold on to
Hmm.
you. I got you," and I just make it work. I don't know.
Well, I
You know,
know just from knowing you a short time, part of why you make it work is because you work.
yeah,
Like, you
yes,
hustle. I
I,
watch you hustle. Like, you put your intentions and you put your all of that out there, but whew, yeah. Like,
and the goal, I want to be the example and just kind of cut some of those stigmas and for my children when they get old enough to work, I want to hear them say, "Hey, mommy, I want to start this business." I don't want to hear them say,
Hmm.
"Help me fill out this application." And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just trying to groom something different. I need to leave a legacy. We need to create generational wealth. All of that other stuff, it
Hmm.
does not have to be. I just told them earlier, watching the inauguration. They let them out of school to watch it. And so while they thinking they're going to be bored, I'm asking questions like, wait a minute, that lady just said this is our 59th presidential inauguration, but they said he's the 46th president. That doesn't make sense. Explain to me how that could be possible. So I make them Google and give me an answer. Like I try to, you know what I mean? Keep them engaged in a way that they understand. We got to groom it in our children. We got to groom that success. And it's all in the way that we talk to them and what they see me do every day. And sometimes you have to go Tasmania on them, but it happens. It's a
well,
lot.
like, I know how hard you work, and I know where you volunteer in your community because we both are volunteer
Yeah.
board members of Reforming Arts. And I'm going to just give a quick plug for that because you know I love to. So, Reforming Arts is the mission of Reforming Arts. It supports people who are under carceral control in Georgia through arts, education, and reentry services. Our theater infused higher education in prison and reentry programs foster the development of creative critical thinking, and encourage students to explore creative solution and build livable lives. So it ties in right with what you teach your children. Like, I mean, so many reasons you're an awesome board member. But I want to know, how do you take care of yourself? How do you take care of yourself and have wellness in the midst of all this?
I really had to learn to practice self care. I really did. I probably would have fell out and exhausted by now. And when I thought about, the eight dimensions of wellness and how they play into my life, the way that I do it is really through my children because again it's a lot of them. So the things that I teach them, they understand when I say, hey, it's time to chill. They understand when I say, hey, sit down and reflect on that. And the way that we move around each other now with the things that I have instilled, sometimes I have to go and get quiet. It's been times where I told my husband, hey, I need a break. And he'll go get me an Airbnb or something for the weekend to just put my feet up. He always try to come, but you gotta leave. It's about me, just to put my feet up and focus. I teach my children to pray. Even the 4-year-old, she has a little stanza of prayer that when I say, hey, it's time to say your prayers, and she don't quite understand it, but she'll get it. And even physically, you got to throw in a little exercise every now and then. I'm not I won't say I'm not strong, but sometimes I need somebody else to hold me down. My husband is everything. He feels me. He told me the other day, come here, little boo boo. I see you upset. Don't do me like that. But but for people, that don't have a partner or something, they maybe like think of single moms and they're trying to manage this and bounce that. It is hard. You have got to woosah. It can wait. It whatever it is, it ain't going it right then. It does not have to be done. It can wait because you're gonna make a mistake or you're gonna end up crashing trying to run, 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 run. And I had to learn that. My family tell me all the time, when you sit down somewhere, but in my mind at the time, I'm like, I gotta, I gotta, I gotta, I gotta. I feel like I've been off the clock 15 years. I don't have time to rest, but I had to. It makes me think
Hmm.
clearer, make better decisions. And again, and me doing that. And sometimes it's I have a block. Hey, don't knock on my door. I got to do this. My children seeing that, they learn the importance of it without me saying it sometimes. So they get it. Balancing it is not hard. I just finished the macaroni, went in the oven right before I mean, like 2 minutes before I came on live. I just cooked the whole, but they get it, and they're appreciative. My family is great, man. Even the silly ones on here keep putting up them comments.
The silly
Hey,
ones
well,
are my favorite.
right, they're my favorite too. Hey, Aunt Vivian, I see all of you, the Griffins, everybody showing up. Hello, family. And I love
Yes,
it because, since 1919, women got the right to vote. Chartisia, you as a black woman that was incarcerated for 15 years, you're not supposed to be out here helping people. So I'm so proud of you and
and
everything
vote
that you've done
and voting.
and
I mean,
voting
the
and voting.
opportunity I got, I was there, like that period point, because I get it, and I'm
Yeah,
really hoping that what happened here recently shows all of the people that say, "Oh, I ain't doing that. It don't matter. They gonna do it." No, it don't, man. You gotta make a decision. I hope that we don't have to
right.
have that my vote doesn't matter conversation anymore, and all conversations
Mm,
moving forward is, hey, what do I need to do? How do I need to do this? Did I do this right? Let me help you. I hope those are the only ones we're having for here forward.
Hmm.
right. And it's interesting, Chartisi, when you say that, because it's honestly, with all the 8 dimensions of wellness, like you said, now I see how they fold into each other, right? So when you talk about making sure that you make your vote count, I'm glad I got back in town from Atlantic City on the 5th or on the 4th, just in time to vote on my anniversary, right? My 1 year anniversary. And thankfully, I've had, a young black man that's been able to be a great partner and support me in the ways that I've needed, like you said, through everything. But it's also, it reminds me of owning a business too. I
Yeah.
think that, especially, let's say like me, I'm a millennial business owner, right? We think that
Mhm.
it's part of the clout or part of just the boss image. Oh, you just want to own a business just so you can say you a boss, but it's really about having the money work for you, being able to take what you can and do the most with it. That's
Yeah.
the reason that you own a business, so you can
Yeah.
make more money and keep more money. So it's just like voting. You can say that mine might not count, but what if it did? And you won't know if it was yours or not. But
Right.
I respect people's decision. That's what we really are fighting for. Also, the choice. But again, I appreciate the sacrifice that everybody's made for me as a black female millennial business owner to be here sitting with you ladies today and to say that I voted twice in the last 6 months. So it's all tied together. And again, thank you so much for the hours that you both of you have put in.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
were with different organizations this time, but both of us making sure protecting the vote and making sure to help folks understand if their ballot got rejected, why, and be able to fix it according to law, right? Um,
Man.
Right.
it was important. I mean, we had record voter turnout,
Yeah.
record, which I know you were a part of that, Chartisia, and so was I, and all the women and men, but a lot led by the black woman in Atlanta. Yeah,
Me, just a woman.
getting it done, right? Getting
You
it
know,
done.
the last numbers I heard, 90% of all the registered voters in Georgia voted. 90%.
90%.
We're
Yes,
coming
we
for
Good
the
job,
fans.
Georgia.
yes, we did.
I remember texting you. I'd be so excited, like, Christine, did you see this? Look at this. Check this out. All the way.
It was,
I
people
love it.
around the nation. I had people around the nation calling me all worried and upset. And I'm like, y'all, if we don't win, it's not for lack of trying because
Yeah.
we have been busting butt for years.
Yeah.
And it is, and so yeah, I'm so glad that the works that's thousands of people and thousands of people in Georgia and then also across the country. I don't know about y'all, but I received, I think, 7 handwritten postcards this cycle. Like
Mm,
I've never received handwritten. Hey, go vote. Like I'm like, y'all
Yeah.
come on, show up.
yeah.
So, but here's the thing
Yes.
that I was talking about this week with friends and activists and artists is we can't set it down. We can set it down for a little bit and we can rest. We can rest in shifts. But like right now, the Golden Dome is open for business in Georgia, and they're already talking about redistricting, which they try to use for voter suppression, and they're talking about doing away with mail-in ballots because it worked so well and so many more people voted, which so we got to be on top of it, right? And pay attention and be active. But Dalika says maybe 30 postcards. Yeah, right. And I got a text and a call every day from somebody, from some volunteer somewhere across this nation. And I'm like, y'all don't have to worry about me voting. That's not but thank you so much for your work and for what you do in this world. I am so delighted to know you and work beside you at Reforming Arts, and just I can't say enough. How do people find you? Wait, before we go, I know we're going to go a little bit over. We usually only have guests for about 15 minutes, Chartisia, but 7 books. How did I not ask that? How did I not know that, first of all?
Well, the reason you don't know it is because I did this and then I did life and did nothing with them. With them. And so that's the thing. My husband's like, stop playing, get over here and get this done. So that's what I've been working on now, figuring out a way, making sure that doing some more edits. 2 stories, 2 poem books, couple of plays. It's a lot of stuff, y'all. Finished complete work, and it's good. It's good. I'm pretty good.
Of course, it's good.
And I'm currently working on a memoir because everybody that knows us is like, you gotta write that story. You gotta write the story. And so my brother gave me a name that I'm gonna use. He told me I gotta pay him, but I ain't paying him for the memoir. And working on it now. So you're gonna be seeing something here in the near future. I'm stuck at home, so I don't have any excuse, besides doing it. But yes, we did do that. And you can all find me at She Is Everything 99 on Instagram. She Is Everything ENT on Facebook, where the first business I started with the oils. Mostly everybody knows that. And any information that you need as far as voting, like Women Engage, you just go on their website. Any link, anything you can think of, any question you can think to ask that you need the answer to, you'll be able to find it there. Or just reach out to me. I'm open. Our work doesn't stop. That's a great thing about that organization. It's not just because an election is happening. This is stuff that we're doing year round to make sure we're engaging. So that's a great thing too.
Love that. And I do actually have one more question for you. I know we hit on it, right? We talked about the time away, being intentional. We talked about your intentional conversations with your children around different things. Outside of that, to a woman who may have been incarcerated for a while and is getting out and is struggling and doesn't feel like she has that support system, or somebody else who might not have a husband who can afford to do that, right? How would you, what type of advice would you give them to balance their work in philanthropy or volunteering or nonprofits and everything that they do to give with taking care of themselves?
The first advice I would give them is, if they're listening in, I am that girl I'm open. Reach out to me. And you're going to have a friend. You're going to have a accountability partner and a mentor if needed. So if you're listening in, that's what I'm going to say. If you're not listening and you know somebody that you want to tell them to, you cannot, it's impossible to do it by yourself. You cannot. There has to be a somebody or a something that comes to help you or guide you on a path. So there are Women Engages, an organization where you can find that type of thing. You're going to need to be able to talk to somebody. But the most important thing you got to do, because if they're in that, it's not easy. You have got to you've got to do some self-care. You got to be able to sit down without your kid. You got to be able to think clearly, and you've got to be able to focus, or you're not going to, I won't say you won't make it, but I will say that you're going to be climbing uphill, and you don't want to do that. Reach out. There are places, and it's free. It's not like it's going to cost you anything. Groups, Facebook, look on Facebook for different type of support groups. It's out there. If it's not a fit for you, you'll know it's not a fit for you, but I'm here. And that's my word. I'm here. And if it's not something I can do, I can show you where to go. to get it done, whatever it is that you need. So if you know that girl, tell her to reach out to me. I'm here for that.
I love
We
that.
don't we win together, period.
Women connected in wisdom, right?
Right. That's what it's about, is lifting each other up and having these conversations. And yeah, it's thank y'all. I want to Tabitha, we got to give her a shout out. She's been in the comments on Facebook. Says this was great, and so is my niece, and you're my shero. And thank you, Tabitha, for listening. We're so glad. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, right. It's fun to have people in this conversation with us. We have to shout out your Aunt Vivian one more time too, because she had. I want to shout out Aunt Vivian because self-care is, it's my jam. I talk about self and community care, and that's what my book's about. And I'm with you, Vivian. It is very important. Absolutely. So, well, thank you so much for being with us, Chartisia. I have no doubt we will have you back again. And is there any last thing you want to say to folks that are listening before we put you down the hall in the green room again? And I wish there was chocolate there.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been a pleasure. To anytime I tell my story, you never know who's impacted by it or who's going through whatever. Everybody got their own stuff. Um, don't go it alone. Don't ever feel like I got to do this, because you don't have to do it by yourself. Somebody will come that you can trust to hold you down or help you through it. We can't do it by ourselves, though. So take that out of your mind. You absolutely cannot. There is a space for you. There's a place that's been created for you to be in to help get you through whatever it is. Hopefully, by the time you guys have me back, I'll have some published work we can talk about.
I don't know if you know this about me, Chartisia, but one of the things I do is help women entrepreneurs get their books out. So you and I need to have some conversation offline. Yeah. Shannon and I are part of a Monday manifesting group that we uplift other women entrepreneurs, and we help folks meet their goals. So yeah, let's have some combo offline. Because we'd love to help you get those books to so everybody can read them. I want a signed copy. Like, you got to get them printed.
That'll be great. Just let me know. I'm here for it. I'm here for whatever builds and life and build a community, because we win together. We can't do it by ourselves. We win together. So absolutely.
All right, my friends, thank you so much. You are welcome to hang out in the green room as we do a little wrap. And thank you, everybody, for listening today. We've got a few more things we're going to chat about. We'll be seeing you soon. Holy cow, Shannon. That was awesome.
That's great. I'm going to plug in my phone before it cuts off on you guys. Hold on.
Right? Yeah, don't make me do the show by myself. So out of everything that Chartisia talked about, what really stuck out for you about occupational wellness and self-care? And
so if I could get it, boom.
Okay, got it.
I would say you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
After reading Robert Kiyosaki's book talking about cash flow quadrants and realizing how important a team is, it's not optional. It's just not to reach certain levels, and especially between women, there's so much hurt and cattiness and pettiness. Like, I'm over it. So I'm so thankful that she said that, because it's so true. That's why we're women connected in wisdom, so I'm all about that. And if it's hard for me to pick one, but if I had to say off the top of my head, we cannot win by ourselves. We win together. I love that.
Right. I love that. There was a part that she said, Aunt Vivian's still with us. I love it. She says, exactly, you can't do it alone. Right. Right. That is so true. And if as we rise together, we all rise like that. When there's some really famous quote about it when the water rises, if we're all together, we go up together, that I love. But there was one part where she said, what was the word she said? It was like, woosha, it can wait. That
Mm-hmm.
we must rest in order to do all of this, right? And you know me, I need to get that one tattooed somewhere, just to remind myself, like, and also that we can rest in shifts. There's still work to be done, but that the resting is essential, so we can hold it. But
Yes. And honestly,
wouldn't she be awesome?
especially, yeah, oh no, amazing. And I knew it would be. I look forward to other conversations because when we meet people like this, one conversation isn't enough, but that's why we build community, and we're about to start all this stuff together. This is just the beginning. But really being able to rest has been so really foundational this year with everything that's going on. And you talked
Yep.
about my planner here, me planning things, knowing that I can write it down and mark it off. Even if I move it to the next day, it still makes me feel better knowing that I know when I'm going to do it. And right now I'm prioritizing self-care so I don't burn out or become balanced the wrong way, or lean too far on anxiety and worry. It helps with a lot of stuff like that. I love it.
I love that. Yeah, and it's important. And sometimes we have to schedule it because otherwise other people suck that time away from us, whether it's
Right.
community or family, and it's all important stuff, right? But if we go down, the whole system can go down if we're not careful, especially if we're the ones managing the
Right.
households and owning the businesses and things like that. So,
Right.
I talk about, when I talk about in my book about caregivers, that caregiving is a dangerous profession because oftentimes the
Mhm.
caregiver dies before the person they're taking care of because they're so busy taking care of other people, they're not taking care of their own needs. So it's huge that we prioritize it, and I think Chartisia was just an amazing example of that. So
Yeah.
I am really grateful for our conversation today. So what can folks do on social media this week? I know we like to ask folks to give us a shout out. Tell us what they can do.
Yes, yes. So this is about wisdom and action, right? There's plenty of information. Now we know there's all these seminars, free webinars you can go to. It doesn't benefit you if you don't put anything in action. So this week we're talking about occupational wellness. We've talked about rest, intentional conversations, and community. What are you going to do um, this week to work towards a better work-life balance? Yes,
Right?
and make sure that you do the hashtag wisdom and action. What
Right.
about you,
And then
Christine?
they can
What are you
always
gonna?
tag us. Go ahead. Ask me.
I was gonna ask you, what are you gonna do this week?
What am I going to do this week for occupational wellness?
Yes.
I'm producing this podcast so we can get it out to all the channels because we've been recording it live and we're about to do our big launch from our
Yes.
intro and our first 3 shows. So that's happening. And I'm talking to a few groups. I've been really having a good time, Shannon, virtually speaking to folks about self and community care. So if anybody out there has a group that you want us to come speak at, or we have some fun interactive Zoom presentations. I got a testimonial today from the group I spoke at last week that it's one of those that's going to go on my bulletin board in my office. So when I'm having a tough day, because we all have those tough days, I'm gonna go read it because I'm like, I feel so grateful as an author and a speaker and a coach for meaningful work and for having purpose and
Yes.
for connecting with folks. And I am grateful for you, my friend, and this work we are doing together. So
Yes.
I'm
Me
so
too.
thankful. All right. Are we
Yes. Me
about to
too.
wrap
Thank you
this
so
up?
much.
You have any last words of wisdom?
Yes, ladies. You know what I'm gonna say. Be well. Be wise. Be whole. We will see you next Wednesday at 5.
So
Yes.
grateful.
Good
See you
night.
next time. Bye, y'all.